Monday, February 5th. At 10 a.m. on the first trading day of the coming week, players will get information about the Producer Price Index in the European Union. It characterizes the change in the price of goods produced within the zone and sold in the domestic market in the reporting period compared to the previous one. The growth in the value of the index may have a positive impact on the euro. By 3 p.m., the United States will announce the Non-Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index. It is calculated based on the results of a survey of representatives of 375 companies from 17 industries in the non-manufacturing sector of the state. The growth of PMI in the non-manufacturing sector is usually positively reflected in the American dollar. Tuesday, February 6th, by 3 p.m. Tuesday, the Purchasing Managers Index will be reported by Canada. The calculation of the index includes seasonal adjustments and the weights of the surveyed companies. An indicator value above 50 means that the majority of respondents positively characterized business conditions. The growth of the index favorably characterizes the change in market conditions and may positively affect the Canadian dollar. At 9:45 p.m., New Zealand will release statistics on employment change. The indicator reports on the number of officially employed citizens in the country's economy in the reporting quarter relative to the previous quarter. Employment growth indicates the strengthening of the labor market and may positively affect the New Zealand dollar. Wednesday, February 7th, at 6:45 a.m., financial players should wait for the disclosure of the unemployment rate in Switzerland. Statistics include people who do not have a regular income, both full-time and part-time. The increase in the number of unemployed citizens causes a decline in living standards and is an indicator of slowing economic development. Therefore, an increase in unemployment may have a negative impact on the Swiss franc. Already at 3:30 p.m., the U.S. will declassify the change in crude oil stock exchange. This is an indicator included in the weekly report of the Energy Information Administration of the U.S. Department of Energy. It reflects the number of barrels of commercial crude oil held in storage by U.S. companies. At 4:30 a.m. Thursday, the Reserve Bank of India will announce its interest rate decision. The regulator provides short-term loans to commercial banks in the country at this rate. When it increases, such loans become more expensive. As a rule, the Reserve Bank reduces the rate when the country needs to expand the activity of the banking sector and the economy as a whole. A lower than expected rate could negatively affect rupee quotes. At 7 p.m. will also be known about the decision of the Bank of Mexico on a similar issue. The Board of Governors of the Bank of Mexico takes it 8 times a year at meetings on monetary policy. The interest rate decision is among the most important economic events in the state. An increase in the interest rate leads to an appreciation of the Mexican peso, while a decrease leads to a depreciation. Friday, February 9th. On the last trading day, it will be possible to familiarize with statistical data on Germany. Thus, at 7 a.m. this country will report the Consumer Price Index, the average dynamics of change in the cost of all goods and services, including food, cars, spare parts and services, and others, which make up the costs of private households and foreign tourists. An increase in the index often has a positive impact on the exchange rate. Finally, at 1:30 p.m. Canada will present the employment change. Part-time employment includes people who are employed less than 30 hours per week in their main or only job. Full-time employment corresponds to 30 hours or more. The interpretation of the indicator depends on the context. A rise in full employment is usually interpreted as a favorable factor in the development of the economy.